We'd like to share how we've been coping with the pandemic and continuing our work. The spaces where we perform our stories on will remain empty for the moment. This we realize painfully. But what is it to a company where dance, movement, music, and spoken text are integral to its very reason for existence? We realize that there will be no live shows, the presence of audiences in interacting with us being too risky in these pandemic times, therefore a no-no. But the show must go on, and being creative humans, we have found ways to continue. We have come to realize that this phase is a transition, that despite the circumstances, we will soon all get back to normal. But what is important is sustaining and even enhancing our work. Well, first, as producers of creative expressions like dance and music, then allowing these expressions to be experienced by the widest possible audiences in new ways. The interest to sustain will not only be felt by us artists and performers, but by our audiences who must keep and help grow. And we can only do this through experimentation and innovation. We see the pandemic as a deluge, drowns our initiatives, but we can ride over the crest of this vicious flood and triumph. Our stories of how we have ridden the crest may help you too. But before anything else, you need to be familiar with the work your group has been focused on. We call this the vision of the company. What does the company ultimately want? The vision guides all other actions. Everything follows. The actions you made are determined by the vision of your company, because you are driving yourself towards a destination. Vision tells you the dance forms you concentrate on: classical ballet, modern contemporary, folk, hip-hop, dance for fitness, or whatever. Vision should be shared by all. It is the setting, the landscape, the environment, your map of your organization, where your group wishes to go. Vision tells you your audiences, the communities you have to engage with, the content of your productions, the manners of presentation. It is the most important fixed frame of your life as a dancer, in an organization, and even individually, as a performer. As a performer, you all carry personal visions. That is why you join dance companies that complement your personal visions. Important question. Do you know your vision? Let me illustrate. We belong to a company called IPAG, the Integrated Performing Arts Guild, based, nurtured, and grown outside of the centers of economic activities. Our position has given us both opportunities and challenges. Opportunities because we are in direct engagements with the sources of our performances. Our rural-based community has given us a tighter knit of performance-audience relationships. The challenges because living in the peripheries, we get the least resources for our logistics. Besides, we have to work extra hard to get into the consciousness of the mainstream. But we have survived, and even gone beyond what most have expected. From a startup company of neophytes, experience and failures were our best teachers. But from the very beginning, we were certain that dance and music would become an integral part of our story performing. hence the name integrated. A merger of forms where one does not dominate the other, placed together to make meaning and storytelling clearer, and thus grab that expected response from our audiences. Fortune played a good part, helping us form that integrated merger was our organic source, the Tausug Pangalay, its execution and method taught to us by its very guru herself, Ligaya Fernando Milbangsa, who spent years in the Sulu archipelago to immerse in the dance's idiosyncrasies. And because we were appropriating cultural forms along the way, a method, transcreation and distillation. These evolved, process established, documented, informing our own meta-modality. So as merged more modalities from various choreographers who incorporated their learned mediums with the Pangalay as frame. From classical ballet to modern to contemporary to appropriated indigenous forms, even popular dances. The Bavayo productions now bear that form as signature, somehow forming from the hours of training and study. Using biomechanics and other methods, our own pedagogy evolved. But performance cannot be sustained without a system supporting it. I refer to the non-artistic operations. That too is determined by that vision that the company wants to fulfill. The other part of the company that ensures that the creative process towards production is sustained, the artist supported, interest generated, audiences built and informed, sponsorships collected, networks linked, and the organization's operations guaranteed long-lived. Two parts. The creative part is only successful with the other. Our experiences may be yours too. Success is built from explorations, innovations, and slips along the way. From slips, we rise and learn. We were on our way. But suddenly, COVID. We were not prepared for such tempest, a rude disorder. Our system was built on an order we learned to live with. Suddenly, a new order. Confusion struck. Our journey went on hold. Riding the crest and soaring. Stuck for programs, performances, and roadshows, workshops. Years of preparations gone to waste. With the stoppage came the halt of resources too. Our artists shifted to online jobs or simply waited for the disorder to dilute. We thought fast. We were running out of resources. Thus the transition we playfully tagged, staying alive. The times called for humor and level-headedness. March 12 started stay home time. Performance started its death knell. By June, we had a plan. Staying alive program we tagged Transcript, a play on how we moved from conventional avenues to new modalities. That's the program of new modalities, where script or text transcreated to other modes. We had to accept the fact that performance would not be the same as that recreated live. Phenomenology, the study of experience, would be enriched by such explorations. But we were also consoled by the fact that this was a transition, a bridge. Like all dance, music, literary, and drama compositions, it required these moments. A time for reflection, a beat. In TV dramas, this is the space where ads come in. We were threading the same narrative line where beats and climaxes and moments mattered. In August, we launched our new modalities program, tag Transcript, hashtag Staying Alive. We have soared above the pandemic. Our stories in dance momentarily migrated to video, a different medium. Hence, the acceptance of a different kind of engagement whose success depended on the expectations that film, not live performances presented, but nevertheless still integrated. But even more challenging and demanding because interest among viewers was easily curbed by the click of the mouse. When interest wanes, one click, one single click, and you lose viewership. Success in new modalities depended not only on the creative productions whose interest took a distinct kind of experience, different from that of lead performances. Film is a different medium. The medium itself is already meaning. There will be a lot of other cultural perspectives here, but that should be the subject of a different lecture. Again, the other parts, the system of organization, the synthesis among creative product, process, scaffoldings of the philosophy of performance you nurture. Ask yourselves at this point, how well synthesized are your organization's parts? Its administration, linkages, and creative clusters enough to pull accomplishment and success. I ask again, do you have a vision? Or if you have one, do you share your vision? You may have the best ideas, the most innovative choreographers, the most endearing materials, the most exciting dances. But without support of a well-oiled, direction-oriented administration, the lack of synthesis becomes your weakest feature. Your administration need not be good dancers or dancers at all. Best administrators are those with planning proficiencies. Those who can look forward, are organized, and carry a time-based logic applied to the company's own timelines. What is a masterpiece? A milestone-breaking piece, flawless technique, profound perception of a human condition, that there is no audience to engage with all of this.